Unit 6, Life Plans, page 63. Exercise B. Photo story. Read and listen to a conversation about a career choice.
Dr. Miller, I wonder if I could pick your brain?
Sure, Charlotte. What's on your mind?
Well, I always thought I would go to engineering school, but now I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, it's not so unusual for a person your age to change her mind. I must have changed mine 10 times before I settled on medicine. Have you decided on something else?
Well, actually, I've developed an interest in the health field, and since you're a doctor...
Are you thinking of medicine?
Not specifically. Something related that doesn't take that long to study. I know there are some good options, but I'm having trouble making up my mind.
Well, have you given any thought to becoming a physical therapist? It's a great field. You help people, and there's always a job available.
Physical therapy. I should have thought of that. I'll keep that in mind.
Page 64. Conversation Model. Exercise A. Read and listen to a conversation about a change in plans.
So what are you doing these days?
Well, I'm in dental school.
No kidding. I thought you had other plans.
That's right. I was going to be an artist, but I changed my mind.
How come?
Well, it's hard to make a living as a painter.
Page 64. Conversation Model. Exercise B. Rhythm and intonation. Listen again and repeat. Then practice the conversation model with a partner.
So what are you doing these days?
Well, I'm in dental school.
No kidding. I thought you had other plans.
That's right. I was going to be an artist, but I changed my mind.
How come?
Well, it's hard to make a living as a painter.
Page 65. Vocabulary. Reasons for changing plans. Exercise A. Read and listen.
I wanted to be a rock star, but my tastes changed.
I was going to be an artist, but it's hard to make a living as an artist.
I thought I would be a lawyer, but I didn't pass the exam.
I wanted to become a firefighter, but my family talked me out of it.
I was going to marry George, but I changed my mind.
Now listen again and repeat.
I wanted to be a rock star, but my tastes changed.
I was going to be an artist, but it's hard to make a living as an artist.
I thought I would be a lawyer, but I didn't pass the exam.
I wanted to become a firefighter, but my family talked me out of it.
I was going to marry George, but I changed my mind.
Page 65. Vocabulary. Exercise C. Listen to activate vocabulary. Listen to the conversations. Complete each statement about the decision each person made. Conversation 1.
So what did you want to be when you grew up?
Me? I actually wanted to be a sculptor, and I was one for about 5 years.
Really? So how come you're an architect now?
I guess it was just impossible to make a living.
I can imagine.
Conversation 2.
Weren't you going to marry that beautiful American dancer? What was her name? Jessica?
You remember? You're amazing.
Who could forget Jessica?
Well, she was gorgeous.
What made you change your mind?
I never really changed my mind. My parents convinced me not to do it.
Conversation 3.
I always thought you would become a lawyer.
What do you mean?
Well, you love to argue, and you love to win.
To tell you the truth, I really thought I would become a lawyer too, but I couldn't pass the entrance exam. I took it twice.
You're kidding.
Well, there's more to law than arguing and winning.
Conversation 4.
I remember that Romanian skier you were going to marry.
Oh, yes, Andrei. He was so cute.
Whatever happened?
When you get older, your tastes just change, I guess. That's why I married Jerome.
Listen again and use the vocabulary to write the reason each person changed his or her mind. Conversation 1.
So what did you want to be when you grew up?
Me? I actually wanted to be a sculptor, and I was one for about 5 years.
Really? So how come you're an architect now?
I guess it was just impossible to make a living.
I can imagine.
Conversation 2.
Weren't you going to marry that beautiful American dancer? What was her name? Jessica?
You remember? You're amazing.
Who could forget Jessica?
Well, she was gorgeous.
What made you change your mind?
I never really changed my mind. My parents convinced me not to do it.
Conversation 3.
I always thought you would become a lawyer.
What do you mean?
Well, you love to argue, and you love to win.
To tell you the truth, I really thought I would become a lawyer too, but I couldn't pass the entrance exam. I took it twice.
You're kidding.
Well, there's more to law than arguing and winning.
Conversation 4.
I remember that Romanian skier you were going to marry.
Oh, yes, Andrei. He was so cute.
Whatever happened?
When you get older, your tastes just change, I guess. That's why I married Jerome.
Let's change the conversation model.
So what are you doing these days?
Well, I'm getting married.
No kidding. I thought you had other plans.
That's right. I was going to go to drama school, but I changed my mind.
How come?
Well, it's hard to make a living as an actor.
Now let's change the conversation model again. Don't stop. Ask more questions. Explain your choices and decisions. Discuss the future. Say as much as you can.
So, what are you doing these days?
Well, my wife and I are going to have a baby.
No kidding. I thought you had other plans.
That's right. We were going to take a trip around the world, but our parents talked us out of it.
How come?
Well, they said it was time to start a family. And actually, we decided they were right.
So when is the baby going to be born?
In September.
Your wife is a teacher, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
Is she going to keep working after the baby's born?
Yes, I'm going to stay home. I'm studying, and I can do that at home.
That's great. Best of luck.
Reduction of have in perfect modals. In perfect modals, the word have is usually reduced to of. Listen. Should've. The word have is unstressed in perfect modals. Listen. You should have called me. We drop the sound and link have to the word before it. The vowel is reduced to the short, weak sound Listen again. You should have called me. The same thing happens with other perfect modals. Listen. Would have. I would have helped you. Listen to these examples with perfect modals. Notice the way the word have is reduced. It sounds like of. You should have gone to law school. You would have been a good lawyer. I must have left my phone in the car. He might have called already. I could have moved to Shanghai. I might not have met you. Now listen and repeat. Click on pause after each sentence. You should have gone to law school. You would have been a good lawyer. I must have left my phone in the car. He might have called already. I could have moved to Shanghai. I might not have met you.
Page 67. Pronunciation. Reduction of have in perfect modals. Exercise A. Notice the reduction of have in perfect modals. Read and listen. 1,
I should have married Marie.
2,
They might have left.
3,
We may not have seen it.
4.
She could have been on time.
Now listen again and repeat.
I should have married Marie. They might have left.
We may not have seen it. She could have been on time.
Page 67. Conversation Model. Exercise A. Read and listen to a conversation between two people discussing a regret about the past.
I should have married Stephen.
Why do you think that?
Well, I might have had children by now.
Could be. But you never know. You might not have been happy.
True.
Page 67. Conversation Model. Exercise B. Rhythm and intonation. Listen again and repeat. Then practice the conversation model with a partner.
I should have married Stephen.
Why do you think that?
Well, I might have had children by now.
Could be. But you never know. You might not have been happy.
True.
Let's personalize the conversation model.
I shouldn't have studied law.
Why do you think that?
Well, I don't really like law. I think I would have enjoyed being a doctor.
Could be, but you never know. You might not have liked medicine.
That's true.
Now let's personalize the conversation model again. Don't stop. Ask your partner more questions about his or her regrets. Speculate about what happened. Offer advice. Say as much as you can.
I should have become an artist.
Why do you think that?
Well, I might have been a really good one.
Could be, but you never know. You might not have been happy.
True. So why didn't you become a teacher?
Well, teachers don't make a lot of money. I used to want to make a lot of money, but I've changed my mind about that.
It's not too late. Why don't you study teaching now?
You must have spoken to my wife. She says the same thing.
No, I didn't. Do you have any other regrets about your life?
Not really. You know, I could have married Jackie Miller. Then I would really have regrets.
Jackie? You're right.
Page 68. Before you listen, Exercise A. Vocabulary. Qualifications for work or study. Read and listen.
Talents.
Skills.
Experience.
Knowledge.
Qualifications.
Now listen again and repeat.
Talents.
Skills.
Experience.
Knowledge.
Qualifications.
Page 68. Listening Comprehension. Exercise A. Listen for details. Listen to 9 people being interviewed at an international job fair. Stop after each interview and match the interviewee with his or her qualification for a job. Listen again if necessary. Conversation 1.
Good morning.
Hello, I'm Sonia Espinosa. I'm interested in the job as director of the sports program, the one on the cruise ship.
Do you have any experience with sports programs or any special athletic ability?
Yes, I play tennis, golf, and I'm on a basketball team. I've won a few swimming contests, and I've been teaching swimming at a club for 5 years. I actually thought I would be an Olympic swimmer, but I'm not good enough for that.
Conversation 2.
Good morning. Please come in.
Thank you. I'm Silvano Lucastro. I'm interested in working in an international company, but I'm not sure what jobs might be available.
Okay, tell me something about yourself. What do you see as your strengths?
Well, I'm very logical. I can figure things out when other people can't. Whenever there is a problem, people bring it to me to look for an answer. I write everything down in a list and then think about every solution. It's a good way to solve problems.
Conversation 3.
Hello, please come in and have a seat.
Thanks.
Which job are you interested in?
I'm not sure. I don't have a family yet, and my English is pretty good. I'd love to work somewhere outside of the country for a while, but I don't have much work experience.
That's okay. We have jobs for people at every level. Please tell me about your qualifications.
Well, ever since I was a child, I've been great with my hands.
Manual dexterity. Can you tell me a little more?
Sure. People always tell me that I'm good at fixing things. I love to fix things that are broken.
That's great. I actually know of a nice position that might be just right for you. In the US, working for a Ukrainian piano company. Let me get your personal information. Please spell your name.
It's Ivan Martinovich. That's Martinovic.
Conversation 4.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Agnes Lukens, and I'm a people person.
A people person. Could you please explain what you mean, Miss Lukens?
I just love working with people. And actually, people like working with me. And for me. They say I'm a good boss.
So, would you say you have strong leadership qualities?
I guess so. I manage people well, and my last 2 jobs have been in management. I'd like to know if there's anything available abroad. Maybe in Mexico? I can speak Spanish.
Let's have a look at the possibilities there.
Conversation 5.
Come in. You're Elena Burgess, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. I see you have 2 jobs available for psychologists. I just finished my studies and I'm not sure which job to apply for. This would be my first job.
Well, please tell me about yourself. What do you see as your strengths?
Strengths? Well, people say I have a lot of compassion.
You're compassionate. In what way?
I'm able to understand other people's feelings, to put myself in their shoes. I think I must have gotten that from my parents. Both my parents are psychologists, too.
Conversation 6.
Good afternoon. You must be Karen Trent.
Yes, I'm looking for a job.
Certainly, Miss Trent. What kind of experience do you have?
Well, I'm a painter. I painted the murals at the new design center reception area.
Really? Those are beautiful. I understand they won a prize. You do have a lot of talent.
Thanks. I actually have a teaching certificate in art, and I'd love to work with children. Is there anything available in Europe? I speak French and German as well as English, and I'd love a chance to practice.
Conversation 7.
Please come in and have a seat.
Thank you. I'm Ed Snodgrass, and I'm a student. I'm looking for some kind of a summer job. Maybe in Thailand? Would that be possible?
Asia. Well, let's see. Tell me something about your skills and abilities.
Well, I'm pretty young, but people have always said I have a lot of common sense.
Now, that does sound good. What specifically do you mean?
Well, I don't really have a lot of experience or skill, but I have a talent for just knowing what to do. Things seem pretty simple to me. I just seem to be able to figure out what to do when others can't.
Conversation 8.
Please come in and have a seat.
Thank you very much. I'm Akiko Uzawa. I've been working as a computer programmer, but I'm interested in moving to information technology. I see there is a job available with a multinational.
Yes, that's right. This would be a change for you, Mrs. Zawa. What makes you feel you would be good at information technology?
Well, I went into programming because I was always good at math. I think with my background in mathematics, I understand the needs and problems of people in IT.
Conversation 9.
Hello, are you Mia Kim?
Yes, that's right. I'm currently working as a receptionist at a law firm, but I've just finished a course as a legal secretary, and I'd like to apply for the opening in Paris.
Paris? Do you speak French?
Yes, I have a good knowledge of French. My parents both worked in France for a Korean company, and I went to a French-speaking school.
What do you see as your strengths?
Well, I have a great memory for details, also for faces and facts. I hope you'll consider me for this job.
Page 70. Reading. Read and listen.
The 5 most effective work habits. Advice to new workers from a CEO. If you are new to the working world, you are eager to demonstrate your skills and knowledge. However, in addition to those, some basic work habits may be even more effective in promoting your success. Read the following advice to new workers written by the head of a company. 1. Volunteer for assignments. One of the best ways to signal that you are a keen learner and are not afraid of hard work is to volunteer for assignments. However, before volunteering for a task, be sure you have the skills and knowledge to accomplish it successfully. 2. Be nice to people. Be nice to people regardless of their rank or position. When you are nice to people, they go out of their way to help you, and every new worker needs help in order to get ahead. 3. Prioritize your work. We all love to start work on things that are close to our hearts. However, these may not be the most urgent and important in our list of tasks to do. Have a list of things to do according to their strategic importance to your company. When you prioritize your work, you are more productive, and that increases your chances of career success. 4. Stay positive. As someone new in the working world, you are not used to office culture, and there may be office politics that complicate things. Try to stay above politics and remain positive in the face of challenges. When you are positive, you stay focused on your goals. You make better decisions and therefore get more things done. 5. Highlight a problem, but bring solutions. Offer a solution each time you highlight a problem to your boss or management. You need to remember that when you bring problems and not solutions, people may think of you as a complainer. These 5 work habits at first glance may seem like common sense. However, in actual working environments, people tend to forget the basics. I counsel new workers in our company to internalize this behavior and consistently use it to increase their chances of career success.
Page 72. Exercise A. Listen to the conversations between people talking about life changes. Write information on the notepad. Listen again if necessary. Conversation 1.
What happened? Weren't you going to get married?
Yes, but my parents were against the marriage.
How come?
My fiancée had to travel all the time for her work, and my parents convinced me that it would be hard to have a family. In the end, I agreed with them.
No regrets?
None.
Conversation 2.
I really wish I'd accepted that bank manager's position last year.
I thought you were going to take it. Why didn't you?
Well, I'd already planned to spend a couple of weeks with my relatives in Canada, and I really didn't want to have to cancel that trip. By the time I got back, it was too late. They'd given the job to someone else.
Well, in any case, you got a great job now.
True, but it'll take a long time before I get a job in management. I think I sort of missed the boat.
Conversation 3.
Didn't you used to teach painting?
Yes. I thought I would always teach art.
So how come you're a lawyer?
I have pretty expensive tastes, and I wasn't getting paid enough. And it turns out that I really like law.
So all's well that ends well.
You bet.
Conversation 4.
I thought you were going to be an interpreter at the United Nations.
Well, I was, but I tried twice and my English wasn't good enough, so I couldn't. The exam is extremely hard.
That's too bad.
Yes, I wish I had studied more.
Could you tell me what your career or occupation is?
I'm an elementary school teacher.
My career path will be in marketing, helping companies build their brand and help market products to the general consumer.
I work in television, and I would like to eventually produce and direct.
Did you think that you'd be in marketing when you were a child?
No. I thought I'd be president of the United States or drive a fire truck.
What made teaching a good career for you?
First of all, I love children, and I liked the idea of imparting some of my knowledge to young ones.
Everybody has skills, talents, and abilities. So, some people are artistic, others have mechanical ability. What would you say are some of your skills?
I would say I have a lot of artistic ability. I did a lot of art in school.
Good question. My skills and talents would be coming up with new ideas, different ideas, creative ideas that kind of build a buzz around a product.
Do you think that talents and abilities are genetic?
I think they're a combination of both genetics and environment. I think that you are born with certain qualities that your parents, I think, have, and just living with the people around you and learning from your teachers and those that you're constantly interacting with, you pick up certain skills.
Another wonderful dinner, Cheryl. Thank you.
You're welcome. I really enjoy cooking, actually. When I was young, I thought I was going to be a chef.
You could be a chef. These cookies are fantastic.
Why didn't you become a chef?
My mother talked me out of it. She thought I would always have to work at night. She was afraid I would never meet a man and get married.
She was probably right. If you were a chef, you wouldn't have met Bob.
How do you know?
Before he met you, Bob only ate fast food. It's true.
Your mother must have been very happy when you and Bob got engaged.
She was. Hey, you'll never guess what Bob was going to be.
Cheryl.
A rock musician.
Basketball player?
No. Bob was going to be a dancer. He was actually in the state ballet when he was young.
No kidding.
You never told me this.
I could have been a great dancer.
What made you change your mind?
The diet was too hard. I had to stop eating everything. Chocolate cake, fried chicken, potato chips. I tried. I might have been able to do it. But then they said, no more bread and butter. Bread and butter, can you believe it? And that was the end.
Wow, Bob. I never knew. Do you enjoy watching ballet at all?
I can't. I'd like to. But as soon as the music starts, I get very, very hungry.
What about you, Mr. Evans? What did you think you were going to be when you were younger?
If I tell you, will you try not to laugh?
Of course.
I always thought I would have my own television program to talk about etiquette.
I didn't know you were so interested in etiquette.
I have always loved etiquette. I think I would have made a great television etiquette teacher.
Well, I think you could still do it. It's perfect for you.
Really? Why?
Well, you're very polite, for one thing.
You always know which fork to use at a restaurant? That's a real talent.
You've taught me a lot about the customs of other cultures.
Maybe I could still give it a try. Today's topic, dinner conversation. If your international guests look offended and are leaving the table early, you've probably chosen a topic that's taboo in their home country. Find out what's acceptable and what's not. Coming up on International Etiquette with Evans. What do you think?
Wow.
Amazing.
Unforgettable.
You have a real talent, all right?
Thank you.